So the play that they're referring to, of course, is
look at this. Here it is.
The first time I've seen a jump shot touchdown pass. We've seen jump
Okay, how about the
passes,
spin?
but I've never seen a jump shot. Basically a spin move, fadeaway jump shot pass. I mean, but it's not just this though. This is the latest and greatest.
You can't do that.
This is the latest and greatest example of Patrick Mahomes' abilities. But Mike, it's not just this. It's the underhand throws, it's the sidearm throws, it's the no-look throws, it's the mobility, it's the ability to morph and transform into whatever he needs to be on any given play. Because he could be deadly from the pocket in a traditional sense on one play. He can be Brady, or he could be deadly outside the pocket and work off schedule. Okay, he could be Rodgers.
Right.
He could scramble for first downs. He's not Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick fast, but he'll kill you with his legs. And then when you combine Andy Reid's and Eric Bieniemy's creativity, it's like if he's Doctor Strange with it, they're his Wong. It's almost like their brains and their wheels get to turning with how can we unlock more of Patrick Mahomes' abilities? How can we have him doing all this, line of scrimmage histrionics, and then have a tight end take the snap and score a touchdown on a quarterback sneak? I mean, it's just the possibilities are endless with this kid. And I think one day, one of my favorite movies, is Troy. And at the end of Troy, Odysseus says, his little monologue at the end, his little voiceover at the end, he says, "Tell them I lived in the time of Achilles." We're going to look back and we're going to say we lived in the time of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I'll say about Mahomes, it's kind of like that game we all used to play with our various levels of athletic ability. The game used to play, whatever you're playing in the background, whether it's a backyard football or basketball. Hey, I'm this guy, and you try to do it. Now we have it on social media where in the NBA there's a guy who impersonates everybody in the league. He'll do LeBron James. He'll do Anthony Davis.
I like
He'll do Giannis, whatever.
His name, but I like him. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's the same thing. Patrick Mahomes, as you said, Patrick Mahomes is imitating, but he's got his own thing. There's the Patrick Mahomes.
Taskmaster.
Patrick Mahomes can be.
Remember Taskmaster
he can be
from Black
himself.
Widow?
Yeah. He can be himself, but then he can do, can do some other. I got a whole laundry list of impersonations I can do as well. And I will say, as much as I enjoy watching him, I love seeing what he can do. Physically, it's not just a physical thing. Because the NFL hasn't seen Travis Kelce. No, the NFL hasn't seen anyone like Patrick Mahomes. NFL hasn't seen anyone like Lamar Jackson. Nor has the NFL seen anyone like Josh Allen. I think all three of them possess this thing that I did not grow up watching, that I didn't see 10 years ago. Like the NFL did not have that 10 years ago. Maybe little bits and pieces of it. Oh, how about Steve Young, Michael Vick, Randall Cunningham? Okay, bits and pieces, but altogether, no. I haven't seen anything like this. But what makes Patrick Mahomes special is what you just said. It's home. It's being around people who know his strengths, know areas where he can improve, and I'll say weaknesses now. We say areas where you can improve.
Yeah.
That's academia right there. These are
that
your
last
strengths.
interception frustrated me. Yeah.
These are your areas where you can improve. We're not going to say weaknesses.
Yeah.
But that's family. Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, that's family. So family is, hey, we'll celebrate you. We'll yell at you.
We'll challenge you. A week ago, people were tripping because him and Bieniemy were going at it. That's that familiarity.
But this is the best place for you. And I would say, Patrick Mahomes, you are the engine of what the Kansas City Chiefs do. But be thankful, in a strange way, be thankful that the rest of the NFL is a little late about Eric Bieniemy. That Eric Bieniemy should not be there. He should not be a part of the brain trust. It shouldn't be Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, Patrick Mahomes. Bieniemy should be out, just like the other ones.
Right.
Just like the other ones were, and somebody should be in that place. But as long as they have this trio, this trinity,
that continuity, about
to get sacrilegious now. As long as they have this trinity here,
they're
it's going to be really tough to match.
Well, and he's taken ownership of the offense. They've taken the challenge of collectively replacing Tyreek Hill. He's putting in plays or trying to put in plays at the last minute, which is not how they go about doing things. They don't install things midweek, but that's one of the things that he's been trying to do lately. That's how much of a maturation that he's undergone over the course of these few years with Bieniemy and Reid. Yeah, absolutely right. That continuity is a weapon in and of itself. You typically don't see that. The only other one I could think of in recent memory would be McDaniels and Brady. McDaniels had his flirtation or his cup of coffee, I should say, in Denver, but they were together for so long.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but I was thinking about you when I saw the Chiefs beating up on Brady's Bucs last night, because I'm like, listen, a couple of weeks ago, we're not that far removed from a conversation between me and you where I was like, Buffalo's clearly the class of the AFC. They go down to Miami and lose. They beat the Ravens yesterday. We'll get to that game in a second. But you were always a Kansas City guy in the AFC.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you ever came off of that, but today is a day for you to beat your chest and say, I told you so. Because they look like the class of the AFC. And I wonder, I'll combine two stories here. Would you go so far as to make a case, even though they have the one loss to the Colts, and there's only one undefeated team, and that's in Philly, would you go so far as to make a case for it looks confusing in hindsight. Would you go so far as to make a case for Kansas City as even the best team in the league, despite the Eagles being the only undefeated team?
Not yet. But the reason I've been so bullish on Kansas City is, one thing we just talked about, or the 5 things that we just talked about, the characteristics of a Kansas City Chiefs offense, the core, the DNA of who the Kansas City Chiefs are. And the other thing is, Mike, we always do this. I love it because it's just fun. It's entertainment. But it's 90% BS, but it entertains me. And that is our off-season obsession with moves. So teams make moves in the off-season, and we just think that this one move or these two moves are going to elevate this team. They're going to be unstoppable.
Right.
Hey, the Broncos are now divisional favorites because they added Russell Wilson. Hey, watch out for the Chargers.
When they don't work immediately, then it becomes a bust because we overhyped it in the offseason. Yeah.
But just the hype train. And so everybody had like, hey, the Colts, think about the offseason we talked about. Broncos added Russell Wilson. The Chargers added Khalil Mack.
Chargers with defense
and J.C. Jackson. Yeah. Oh, wow. The Raiders are going to be unstoppable. They had Devontae Adams. They got their first win yesterday.
Right.
And the Broncos lose again. The Broncos haven't looked right yet. Even in victory, the Broncos, a little bit shaky. Whereas Kansas City, they lost Tyreek Hill, and that's a big loss. But everything else they bring, including number 15, I just think is enough.
Stability
is enough to deal with a spike here, a spike there, a splash there, a new face somewhere else. That's why I'm going to go with Kansas City, strong in the AFC West. I still like you're gonna find this hard to believe. I like Buffalo though. I like Buffalo.
Okay. See, I thought Kansas City was. I thought the AFC came through Kansas City for you.
Well, it does, but it still does. I'm saying I'm not going to dismiss Buffalo. I'm not going to make that mistake.
Okay. No, I don't find it hard to believe.
Because Buffalo,
I know you like them.
Because Buffalo still has to prove that it can knock off Kansas City to get where it's trying to go. It hasn't happened yet. It's on small sample size, 2 games. One game not that close. The other game as close as you can get. But they still, in big moments, 0-2 versus the Kansas City Chiefs. So they got to beat them.
Okay.
You got to beat them to advance. Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.